First question for starter.
Coach, do you have a timetable for when you'll sit down with the players and discuss the season that just completed and then the offseason, the plan as things work on for them?
Yeah, well, I'm going to speak to them all tomorrow just for a quick hit and just to kind of coordinate this summer schedule-wise and make sure that we're kind of moving in the right direction. But I'm going to give everybody a couple weeks just to kind of wind down, decompress, reflect. I'm going to do the same, and then we'll get together with each individual guy and really kind of go over what our plan moving forward is going to be.
Is there going to be a summer league for the team the new guys to work on their game?
Yeah, as far as I know. Yep.
Thanks very much.
Yep.
Kelly Eco.
Hey, Coach, just thinking about the year you just had, your first year on the job, are the next couple of weeks going to be important for you, especially to kind of reflect on the year and how to push forward?
Yeah. I mean, they'll be important. It'll be important to decompress a little bit and reflect as you're saying. But I'm not gonna rush to do it. You know, there is some time and there is a lot of thought that needs to go into it. And I think Jonathan earlier kind of asked, excuse me, how much is it the uncontrollables this season and how much is it the controllables? And kind of figuring that out is going to be a little bit of a chore to figure out, what is it that we can change based on what we did this season, because we had so many different lineups and we had so much other stuff going on. So yeah, it's gonna take a little bit of time.
Jonathan Fagan.
Yeah, Stephen, I was going to follow up on that same theme. For you personally, is it, I don't know, frustration or disappointment that you spent 20 years preparing and then so much of what you had to deal with no one could prepare for? Or is there some encouragement almost that, yeah, the future you will get to do what you have learned over the 20 years to do?
Yeah, I'm definitely encouraged. It was a tough year for sure, but going into next year, I'll be a better coach than I was when I first came into the door. And we'll have dealt with a lot of different things that I hadn't dealt with before. And honestly, like there were times in the 20 years where I didn't think I was going to be a head coach. So for me to kind of be down and be discouraged about where I am and where I could be and all of those things isn't even in the realm of possibility for me. For me, it is being encouraged, being proud to be the head coach of the Houston Rockets, being super proud of the group that we have and the fight that they've shown and the improvement that pretty much every guy to a man has made. And that's one of the encouraging things to me, that pretty much every single guy who played for us this season got better and played well individually. Now it'll be the time where we get that all together with practice and planning and all of those things. So yeah, I'm very encouraged about the future, and the 20 years definitely prepared me for being a head coach. Obviously there was some challenges this year that were out of my control, but this is my dream job, right? So I'm not going to be discouraged ever about it.
Thank you.
Adam Spolin.
What do you think you'll remember most about this team?
Wow. Yeah, that's a great question. There's so much to remember about this season? I have no idea. Like, there's obviously the thing that sticks out the most in my mind is how we finished this season, with guys out and guys playing so hard and guys playing injured and fighting through. And it's not just the 8 guys who played tonight. It's Christian Wood playing through injury and Kevin Porter Jr. playing through injury, and, you know, a bunch of guys who played through injury this year or, you know, just couldn't play. Just think about David Nwaba, that game where he played and he couldn't even shoot because of his wrist. He was a decoy the whole game and tried and then just had to go get surgery or whatever. But those are the moments. And I talked to the team today about the Hall of Fame enshrinement yesterday and how every single guy who was on that stage, or every person who was on that stage, was talking about the people that helped them. And it was so much about the people and not the moments and not the wins or the losses or the stuff. It really is just the people that make all of this so worth it. And that's probably what I'll take from this season, is the personalities, all of the people, the 30 guys that we had on our roster this season, the 44 starting lineups or whatever it is, but just each individual guy and, you know, the improvement and the relationships that we built over this crazy season.
Mark Berman.
Stephen, is there any kind of a sense of relief that this crazy season, as you put it, the litany of injuries, pandemic is behind you, and that you can look forward to a season where you won't have perhaps these kinds of challenges?
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's more just relief that I don't have to like push these guys to their limit anymore. There were times during the game tonight where I was just looking out and we just had so many tired guys who've been giving so much. So yeah, there's relief that I don't have to like throw JayShawn Tate out there and throw Kelly Olynyk out there and just have them give everything that they have DJ Augustine. And we can kind of regroup, restart, get everybody healthy, get everybody in a good place mentally, because it's been a grind. I mean, the way our schedule has been down the stretch, obviously, I think since All-Star break, we got the worst schedule, but the hardest schedule. But these last, I don't know how many games it's been where we've played it seems like every single good team that there is in the NBA we've played and competed against. So there is the relief in that we don't have to muster it up again and get those guys out there to fight as hard as they can and sometimes coming up short on the score where the score is involved, but not at all coming up short in the fight, grit, character part of it.
Ryan Burfield.
Coach, how good does it feel knowing that you have a general manager and an owner that supports your vision and know that you've been through a lot of adversity this year, but looking forward to, helping you and getting you any additional pieces or resources that you need for next season? And also, will you get a chance to take in some of the WNBA games this season?
Yeah, so it's great to have an owner like Tilman and Patrick to support us as we're going through this journey and to understand it would seem easy to understand, but they don't have to understand how this season has been. And then Rafael, as far as what he's done, bringing guys in who have been productive and, guys like Armani Brooks, who nobody really had on their radar, and bring him in, and Anthony Lamb, and brought him in, Kyrie Thomas and Cam Oliver. And then you think about Christian Wood and JayShawn Tate and Kevin Porter Jr. So to have the support of those guys and those people, but also the expertise that they bring is great for me as a coach. And it's a really, really good situation to have people who understand, care, work hard, but also are really good at what they do. So that's a good spot for me to be in. As far as the WNBA, yeah, I wish I could have seen the games the other day. I know Taurasi made a game-winning shot, and what's her name? And Ionescu, she made a game-winning shot on the same day. And I've always been a WNBA fan. I used to go to the Charlotte Sting games when I worked for Charlotte, and they had Dawn Staley on the team and a bunch of others. So yeah, I'm gonna watch. I love the WNBA. It's great. It's so much fun to watch, and they're so good and talented. And I pick stuff up all the time watching those games.
Adam Wexler.
Hey, Stephen, there's no way to know what the future holds for individual players, but can you even quantify the value that JayShawn and Armani and KJ got by playing how they did this year, and really probably for them, the confidence that they now know they belong in this league?
For sure. I mean, before the game, I kind of went through every guy and how they have kind of surpassed what anybody thought about them. And it was all the guys that we had in the locker room. And JayShawn, I mean, he should be first team all rookie to me. And he has done so much for this group on and off the floor as a rookie, and started a bunch of games and guarded fives and brought the ball up the floor and all the things that he's done. And then KJ Martin, I mean, for me, he could be most improved player because at the beginning of the season, I didn't know if he was going to play at all. And he became someone that was making threes and playing good defense and doing a lot. And like you said, for those guys, they should have confidence going into the next season. And I'll make sure that they know how, I mean, I tell them how much I appreciate them all the time, but the details of it, they'll know how well they really did. And then Armani, as far as maybe, I assume he still has the record for most threes made in the first 20 games now of a person's career. And for him to do that, I mean, there's all these guys who've played in the NBA, even in the last few years, and he's the one who has the record. So yeah, I'm proud of those guys and the development that they've had. And it's obviously not just me, it's the coaching staff, it's John Lucas, it's Robbie Keck, who works with KJ Martin and does a great job with him. So yeah, it's a group effort, but I'm proud of those guys.
Thank you, Coach. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you everybody for this year. I appreciate everybody's fair questions, and I really enjoyed it. I look forward to actually engaging in real life with all of you. It's been great. I appreciate you.
Thanks, Stephen.